Being betrayed is already devastating, but being betrayed by my fiancée and my gay friend was something I never expected. A year has passed, and now they think they can come back as if nothing happened. But what they don't expect is the surprise I've prepared for the big reunion. I'm 33 years old and I was engaged to Vivi, who is 32. During the last year we were together, we had been dating for 6 years before I proposed, and I thought we had a solid relationship, but I was wrong. I met Vivi in our last year of college. We both studied business at the State University. I remember the first time I saw her. She was late, nervous, with her long brown hair a bit messy from the wind. When our eyes met, she gave me a shy smile. We sat together, and from that moment on, the attraction was instant. Her quick wit and contagious laugh brought us closer, and we discovered we had a lot in common. We both loved hiking, we were addicted to true crime podcasts, and we had a thing for spicy food. Soon we started dating. After we graduated, we got jobs in the same city. I landed an entry-level position at a marketing company, while Vivi started as a brand management assistant at a cosmetics company. We were excited to start our careers and lives together. We found a small apartment downtown, nothing fancy, but it was ours. We spent our weekends looking for furniture in thrift stores and laughing while we tried to assemble pieces without losing our patience. As the years passed, our careers advanced. I became a marketing manager, and Vivi was promoted to brand director. We moved to a bigger apartment, adopted a rescued dog named Max, and started talking about our future together. I always knew I wanted to start a family. My parents had a loving and solid relationship, and I wanted the same for myself. Vivi seemed to want the same. We often talked about how many kids we would have, agreeing on 2. We even discussed their names and where we would raise them. Last year, on our 6th anniversary, I decided it was time to ask Vivi to marry me. I planned a weekend getaway to the mountains, the same place where we had our first hike together. I hid the ring in my backpack and nervously checked it every few minutes to make sure it was still there. When we reached the top, with the sunset painting the sky in orange and pink, I knelt down and asked Vivi to marry me. With tears in her eyes, she said yes, and I felt like the luckiest man in the world. We started planning our wedding for the following summer. We wanted an outdoor ceremony, something intimate with only our closest friends and family. Vivi got excited about the preparations, creating mood boards on Pinterest and dragging me to visit potential venues for the event. One of my closest friends is Billy, 31 years old. We met in high school. I had been suspended for skipping classes to go to a concert, and he had been suspended for fighting with a bully. We bonded over our shared love for rock music, and we've been friends ever since. Billy came out as gay during our 2nd year of college. I remember he called me nervously, asking to meet up. When he told me, I hugged him and told him I was proud of him. Our friendship didn't change. If anything, it grew even stronger. I was there for him when he had his first heartbreak, and he was there for me during the ups and downs of my relationship with Vivi. In the beginning, I worried about how Vivi and Billy would get along. He can be a bit sarcastic, and not everyone gets that right away. But to my surprise, they got along well from the start. They shared a similar dry sense of humor, and soon we started hanging out together, movie nights, weekend board games. Billy became a constant presence in our lives. A few months ago, I noticed Vivi started acting strangely. She was always on her phone, smiling at messages. When I asked who she was talking to, she said it was work-related. At first, I didn't think much of it. She had taken on a big project at work, so I assumed she was just busy. But then I noticed other changes. She was going out more often, saying she was meeting up with friends, and coming back late, smelling faintly of alcohol and cigarettes, which was strange. Since Vivi had quit smoking when I did, I asked about her outings, but her answers were vague, and she quickly changed the subject. I didn't want to be the jealous and suspicious fiancé, so I tried to put my concerns aside. I trusted Vivi completely. We had been together for so long, planning our future, and I thought we were happy. However, I felt she was pulling away from me. Our intimacy decreased, and when I saw her, she seemed distracted, as if her mind was elsewhere. I tried to talk to her, asking if everything was okay, if work was stressing her out. She reassured me that everything was fine, gave me a quick kiss, and quickly found an excuse to leave. Last month, Billy called me unexpectedly. He sounded upset and asked if we could meet. We met at a cafe where we used to study in college. The moment I saw Billy, I knew something was very wrong. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, and his usually immaculate hair was messy. That's when my world fell apart. Billy confessed to me that he and Vivi had been seeing each other in secret for the past 2 months. He said it started innocently. They ran into each other at the gym and began having coffee together. But before they knew it, things turned romantic. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My fiancée betrayed me, and with my gay friend. Nothing made sense. Billy, in tears, told me that it was never his intention for this to happen, and that he had always been attracted to men, but there was something about Vivi that confused him. He confessed he had been questioning his sexuality, wondering if he was bisexual. I left the cafe, not knowing what to think or feel. My mind was in turmoil, replaying every interaction between Vivi and Billy, wondering how they could do this to me. I was so dazed that I drove for hours, avoiding facing the reality I didn't want to accept. When I finally got home, I confronted Vivi. She broke down and confessed everything. She admitted that she had developed feelings for Billy, that she was confused about her sexuality, and insisted she never meant to hurt me. She said she still loved me, but couldn't deny what she felt for him. The betrayal hit me like a punch. Not only did Vivi betray me, but she did it with one of my closest friends, someone I trusted deeply. I never imagined that Billy could be a threat to our relationship. The 2 people I trusted most in the world betrayed me in the worst way possible. They both begged for forgiveness. Vivi said she was confused and made a mistake, but that she still loved me and wanted to marry me. However, I couldn't get over the betrayal. The image of the 2 of them together kept tormenting me. I told her to pack her things and leave. It's been a week since then. Vivi is staying at her sister's house and keeps calling me, sending messages, asking for another chance. She says she's willing to go to therapy and do whatever it takes to fix our relationship. Billy also tried to contact me, but I blocked both of them. I'm still in shock. Everything feels unreal, as if I'm stuck in a nightmare I can't wake up from. Every morning, I wake up in an empty bed and realize that my life has fallen apart. I told our families and mutual friends what happened. Most of them support me, but some say I should try to fix things, that it was just a mistake, that Billy temporarily confused her. But I can't imagine trusting her again. How could I look at her without wondering if she's thinking about him? How could I be intimate with her without feeling insecure? I don't know what to do now. The wedding was scheduled for 6 months from now. We had already paid deposits for the venue and catering, and now I have to cancel everything and explain why. The humiliation of having to tell people is almost unbearable, reliving the pain repeatedly. My world is upside down. I thought I knew who I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and now I'm completely alone. I keep replaying everything in my head, wondering if I missed any signs. Should I have noticed that something was wrong? Was I not attentive enough? Did I do something to push Vivi away? I'm angry at Vivi for throwing away our relationship, angry at Billy for betraying our friendship, and angry at myself for not seeing this coming. I'm hurt because I really loved Vivi and thought we had a future together, and I'm confused because I don't know how to move on from here. I've been staying at my parents' house. They've been amazing, giving me space when I need it and listening when I want to talk. But I know I can't stay here forever. I need to figure out what to do next. Has anyone gone through something like this? How do you get over a betrayal like this? I could use some advice. I feel lost. It's been about a month since my last post, and a lot has changed. First, I want to thank everyone for the support and advice. It helped me get through some very dark days. After thinking a lot, I decided to cut all contact with Vivi and Billy. I blocked both of them on social media and even changed my phone number. It wasn't easy, but I knew it was necessary for my mental health. The first few days were the hardest. I kept grabbing my phone to send a message to Vivi about something funny that happened at work or to invite Billy for a beer. But then I would remember, and the pain would hit me again. Going back to our apartment for the first time felt like getting punched in the stomach. Everywhere I looked, there were reminders of Vivi and the life we had built together. The pillows she insisted on buying, the photos of us on the walls, even her favorite coffee mug, everything seemed tainted. That first night, I slept on the couch because I couldn't bear to sleep in our bed. The next day, I started packing Vivi's things. It was a surreal experience packing up years of memories. I found things I had forgotten, like the tickets from our first concert together and the birthday card I gave her last year, where I wrote "Future Mrs. Thompson." Now, that felt like a stab in the heart. Vivi always had the habit of keeping my things and revisiting them, which made everything more painful. I asked her sister to come pick up her things because I couldn't bear to see Vivi in person. I knew that if I did, I might not be able to stay strong. Her sister came while I was at work and left a note apologizing for what Vivi had done and wishing me happiness. It was a kind gesture, but it didn't make much difference in the pain I felt. About 2 weeks ago, I ran into Vivi at the supermarket, which was inevitable since we live in the same neighborhood. What I didn't expect was how I would feel seeing her again. She looked different, or maybe I was just seeing her from a new perspective. It was, at the very least, uncomfortable. She tried to talk to me, saying that she made a mistake and wanted another chance. I told her I wasn't interested and walked away, but my hands were shaking so much that I could barely push my shopping cart. The next day, a mutual friend told me that Vivi and Billy were officially dating. Apparently, they decided to explore their feelings for each other. I didn't know how to react. On one hand, it confirmed that breaking up with her was the right decision. On the other hand, it hurt to know that they were together while I was still alone. I couldn't stop asking myself if they were happy, if they were laughing about how they fooled me, or if Billy was a better partner than I was. In the weeks that followed, I focused on myself. I enrolled in a gym and started working out regularly. It became a healthy outlet for my anger and frustration. There's something cathartic about pushing my body to the limit, feeling the exhaustion in my muscles instead of the pain in my heart. I also spent more time with other friends, the ones who had been by my side through all of this. We organized weekly game nights, which has been a welcome distraction. An unexpected development was how I got closer to Vivi's brother, Tom. He reached out to me after finding out what had happened and expressed his disgust with his sister's behavior. We've been spending a lot of time together, supporting each other in our struggles. Tom is going through a tough time in his own marriage. During one of our conversations, Tom mentioned something that made me realize the depth of the betrayal. Apparently, Vivi had confessed her feelings for Billy months before I found out. Tom had advised her to talk to me about it, but she chose not to. It's devastating to know that her own brother saw this happen while I was completely oblivious. Now, I can't help but wonder who else knew and hid it from me, who else laughed behind my back while I remained in the dark. I began canceling the wedding preparations, which has been a nightmare. Dealing with the vendors and trying to recover the deposits has been an exhausting process. Some were understanding, while others made it harder. Each email, each phone call, felt like I was canceling a piece of my future. Not just a party, but the future I thought I'd have. I'm still struggling with trust issues. The idea of going out with someone again seems impossible right now. How can I fully trust anyone after this? I know not everyone is like Vivi, but it's hard not to be cynical. I catch myself analyzing every interaction, looking for hidden motives or signs of betrayal. It's exhausting. Despite everything, I'm trying to keep a positive attitude. I started planning a solo trip for the month we were supposed to get married. I thought I could use this time to do something for myself, instead of grieving over what could have been. I'm thinking of going to New Zealand. It's always been a place I wanted to visit, but Vivi never wanted to go. It feels like a small act of reclaiming my life, doing something just for me. There are still moments when I miss Vivi and the future we planned together. I miss waking up next to her, the inside jokes, and making plans for our lives. But then I remember what she did, and I know I'm better off without her. There's a long road ahead, but I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm grateful for the support I've received from this community. Knowing that I'm not alone in this helps. To anyone going through something similar, hang in there. It gets better, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. It's been 3 months since my last update, and 6 months since the breakup. Life has been a roller coaster, but I'm finally starting to feel more stable. The solo trip I mentioned last time was exactly what I needed. I spent 2 weeks exploring New Zealand with a backpack, visiting places I've always dreamed of. It was liberating to be alone, making decisions, without having to consider anyone else. I hiked the Tongariro Alpine Crossing, did bungee jumping, something I never thought I would do, and spent a night stargazing by Lake Taupo. The physical challenge of the trails and the stunning landscapes helped me put things in perspective. During my trip, I met wonderful people, including other travelers with whom I spent a few days. It was comforting to talk to people who didn't know my story, who saw me only as a traveler and not as the guy who was betrayed. In fact, I had a brief fling with another traveler, Sarah from Canada. It wasn't serious. We both knew it was just a holiday thing, but it reminded me that I'm still capable of connecting with someone. I'm not completely broken. I can still feel attraction and desire. When I got back home, I found out that Vivi and Billy had moved in together. A mutual friend accidentally let it slip. At first, I thought it would hurt more, but to my surprise, it didn't affect me as much as I thought. I guess time really does heal wounds. Or maybe the distance from my trip gave me the perspective I needed. I've been spending a lot more time with Tom, Vivian's brother. He's become one of my closest friends throughout this process. We've met up several times for beers and regularly play basketball on weekends. Last month, he told me that he's struggling with his relationship with Vivian, feeling torn between his loyalty to me and his love for his sister. I told him I didn't want to get in the middle of it, but he assured me he can't forgive her for what she did. It's a complicated situation, and I feel bad for being caught in the middle. Work has been a great distraction for me. I'm immersed in a big project. We're closing a deal with an important client, and everything has been so intense that it consumes me completely, with long nights at the office and brainstorming sessions on weekends. Exhausting, but in a good way. Last week, I got a promotion, which was a nice boost for my self-esteem. It's good to be recognized for my hard work, especially after feeling so useless after the breakup. I've started going out again. By coincidence, nothing serious has come up yet, but it's nice to be putting myself out there again. I've been using dating apps, which is a whole new world for me. It's strange to be back in the dating world after so long, but it's also exciting. I'm still working through my trust issues, but I'm trying not to let what happened affect all my future relationships. I've been honest about my past with the women I've met, and most have been understanding. An unexpected development was reconnecting with an old college friend, Raquel, who's 32. We hadn't been in touch since graduation, but we ran into each other at a friend's birthday party. Raquel and I have been spending a lot of time together, and it seems like there might be something between us. She knows what happened, and she's been incredibly patient. She understands that I'm taking things slow, but it feels good to feel that spark again. As for Vivi and Billy, I've heard from other friends that things aren't going as well as they had hoped. Apparently, they're dealing with the consequences of their relationship, and many of our mutual friends have distanced themselves from them. I can't say I feel sorry for them. They made their choices, and now they have to live with the consequences. I still have moments where I get angry about what happened, but those moments are becoming less frequent. I'm starting to see this whole experience as a bullet dodged instead of a loss. If Vivi could do this to me after so many years together, who knows what could have happened if we had actually gotten married. I'm not completely healed, but I'm improving and looking at the future in a way I couldn't have imagined 6 months ago. Life goes on, and I'm determined to make the most of it. It's been a year since everything happened, and I felt it was time for one last update. A lot has changed, and now I'm in a much better place. Raquel and I are officially dating. Over the last few months, taking things slow really helped us build a solid foundation. She knows everything that happened, and she's been incredibly understanding of my trust issues. We've had ups and downs. There have been moments when my insecurities surfaced, and I found myself questioning her loyalty for no reason. But Raquel has been patient, always willing to talk and reassure me. We're talking about moving in together soon, which is exciting, though a little scary. I ran into Vivi and Billy at a restaurant last month. It was the first time I'd seen them together since everything happened. It was uncomfortable, but I was surprised to realize that I didn't feel anything except indifference. They seemed uncomfortable and left quickly. Later, Tom told me that they're having problems. Apparently, the excitement of their adventure has worn off, and now they're dealing with the reality of the relationship. Part of me wants to feel proud of that, but most of the time, I feel relieved that it's no longer my problem. Speaking of Tom, he and I are still good friends. He's finally reconciled with Vivi to some degree, but their relationship will never be the same. He has been a great support through all of this, and I'm grateful for his friendship. Work is still going well. I've settled into my new role and am even mentoring a new employee. It's been rewarding to focus on my career and personal growth. The project I mentioned in my last update was a huge success and has opened up exciting new opportunities for me. I've also started developing new hobbies. I joined a local hiking group and have been exploring the outdoors. It's been a great way to meet new people and stay active. Additionally, I've started learning how to play the guitar, something I've always wanted to do but never had time for when I was with Vivian. Looking back, I can see how much I've grown from this experience. While I wouldn't wish it on anyone, I've learned a lot about myself and what I want in a relationship. I'm now more assertive and better at communicating my needs and boundaries. I've also learned the importance of maintaining my own identity within a relationship. For anyone going through something similar, all I can say is it gets better. It takes time and effort, but you can come out stronger on the other side. Don't let someone else's actions define your future. This will be my last update on this situation. It no longer plays a defining role in my life, just a chapter that's been closed. I'm really excited to write new chapters and see what the future holds. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a like, it really helps me. And if you're not subscribed yet, take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel. And turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Oh, and there are 2 more videos appearing on the screen right now. Take a look and choose one to keep watching. Thank you for following me, and see you next time.